The speed Seder is one of the oldest tricks in the book that we have. And it's actually very, very effective. We want to be Makarev our kips. We want them to realize that Yiddishkeit is beautiful. And there are things that they really can't deal with. And it's hopefully going to work for this year, but if we do this over time, 2 or 3 years, whatever it is, it's going to make them want to come to our Seder. Now, the Seder is a beautiful experience, but you can't have a Seder without your child. The whole idea is to have a child there. First thing we have to know is that there's a beautiful vart. It says, V'haya ki yoimru aleichem b'neichem ma ha'avodah zos lachem. We know that V'haya is a lashon of simcha. And the Haggadah says that which is the son that says this pasuk? The Ben Rasha. So the shaila is, why are you so happy that you have a Ben Rasha? V'haya you b'simcha ki yoimru aleichem b'neichem ma ha'avodah zos lachem. Why would you be happy to have such a child sitting at your Seder? And who said this vart? Yeah, the Kleisenberger Rebbe said, it's very sad to have a Rasha, but if he's talking, Ki yoimru aleichem b'neichem, it's already v'haya, already a reason to be b'simcha, already a reason to be happy. And we had parents that they're having a Seder without the kid. The whole Seder is to teach the Gadat L'Bincha. How do you have a Seder without a Bincha? So we really want to try to have a Bincha, and we hope that all of your children will be there this year. But if not, they'll hear about what you did. It'll make it closer that they can come, as we have proven. And the way to do that is by doing what's called a speed Seder. Now, the speed Seder is that from the time you come home to the time you start the meal is 30 minutes. 30. You tell your father did that. It means he was already investing. He had a vata blik. All right? 30 minutes. How is it done? Now, I'll explain to you. Tell your kids in advance, we're doing a special speed Seder this year. They're all going to be very excited. Your kid will hear about it, say, this I got to see. And this is what we do. When you come home, first of all, this is very key. For some reason, it's a late night as it is. We come home and we start picking matzahs. And then we start looking for who's going to sit where. And then we start going ahead and picking wine. All of this stuff can be done beforehand. Between Mincha and Marav, every year, there's always a speech or something. There's time anyway. You can't have a Marav. You have to wait anyway. That's when I go ahead. When we come home to the Seder, we're ready to the hotel or wherever it is. When we come in, we're done. Everybody's cup is full. There is seating is already done. Everyone, the 3 matzahs are done. You're done. Imagine walking home, slipping on your kittel, boom. Why don't we do this? We kill an hour for nothing. That's even for normal people, it's mamish crazy. You know the story of the Chavetz Chaim? The story of the Chavetz Chaim is that he had a Talmud, Reb Leib Chasman, that came and traveled to him. He was a Shiva of Chevron, right? And he was a Mashgiach of Chevron, I think. Mashgiach. And he came in, and the Chavetz Chaim skipped Shalom Aleichem Eshes Chayil. He made Kiddush, he ate, and after the fish, he started singing Shalom Aleichem Eshes Chayil. So he said, Yolamdeinu Rabbeinu, tell me, why did you do this? Said the Chavetz Chaim, I was worried that after you traveled the whole day, that you're going to be hungry. The angels don't get hungry. Malachim Einim Re'evim, they can wait for their song. Chavetz Chaim knew halacha, I mean, he wrote it. He wrote the book, right? And he knew that as much as it's important, Shalom Aleichem, Eshes Chayil, not when people are starving, Nebuch, okay? You could feed them, and then you could sing your beautiful songs. Right? What do? We come, Shulam Aleichem, and then you say, and then the people are dying of things. No, we're going to wait patiently. Chavetz Chaim felt, a malachim einim re'evim, they don't get hungry. We could sing their song afterwards. Eshes Chayil, I guess, also doesn't get hungry. You could sing her song afterwards. Or she is hungry, so she'd rather eat and then have the song on a full stomach. Anyway, that's what he did. That's the story. And it's a very chashuv story. So imagine, first of all, you come home, and it's just pleasant. It's very easy. You have to do the work anyway. So what's the big deal? The wine is filled before, the matzahs are there, and then boom, you start.
Same as in a Chabad house, that people don't have patience.
Right, that's how they do it. Okay, so what you're saying is very, very deep. He's saying in a Chabad house, that's what they do because people don't have patience. Let's think a little bit deeper. Chabad, in order to be successful, has to put on a good show. Anybody who cares about putting on a good show is going to do that. We think it doesn't matter. It does matter. We need to put on a good show for our kids. We can't make it drawn out and tense and anxiety. And I was once setting up the table and my kids asked me this and my kids asked me that. I said, stop with the questions already. No more questions. I'm kidding. They're supposed to ask questions, right? Anyway, so it's anxiety happening and fighting and arguing. Plan it out beforehand. Give everyone their space. Have the cups filled. And do what you would do if you were trying to impress someone. That's why they do it in Chabad. So here's what you do. How long does it really take from when you come home to slip on a kittel? And then to say Kaddish. To say Kiddush. How long does it take?
We don't have that problem. We don't wear a kittel.
You don't do a kittel. You save time already. In Ger also, they know. In Ger also, we don't say a kittel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it costs money. We're not spending money on anything. Kittel, okay, so then we go ahead, Kaddish. How long does it take? Within 3 minutes, you're done with Kaddish. And you tell all your kids beforehand, look what's going to happen. Be waiting by your seats. Tati's coming in, Mommy's sitting there waiting. Come in, change. You're done. It's beautiful, Kaddish. Urchatz. How long does it take to wash your hands? Okay? It's not a big deal. Karpas. I have a big secret for you. Have the karpas with a fork in a little individual cup with salt by everybody's seat. It takes 3 seconds. It's no problem. You can buy it in pomegranate for $8. They'll give you salt water. Give you the best salt water money can buy. Okay, karpas. Karpas is one of the things that make me go off the derech. If I ever go off the derech, it's going to be because of that karpas. That karpas is mamish. I love Yiddishkeit, but there's some things that mamish make me nuts. You're sitting there, it's 2.5 hours later, you're sweating, you're starving. Finally, what do they give you to eat? A potato. Right? You finally get this potato. What does everybody say? Not more than a kazayas. You're sitting there with this little piece. You're trying to make it. It's like, under salt water, right? And the kids are like, ooh, this is delicious. Everybody says the same thing. Everybody says, oh, Mommy, why don't you make this during the year? Of course it's delicious. The kids are starving. It's Auschwitz over here. It's salt water. Starts tasting delicious. And then they start eating more. No, more than kazayas, right? I don't understand. When it comes to the matzah, I'm eating for an hour and a half, this kazayas. I'm eating, we can't even swallow. An hour and a half, the brisket kazayas. It's 8 pounds of matzah. And when it comes to the potato, what if the kazayas like this big? All I'm saying is, why can't the same guy make the kazayas for matzah and for potato? It's so not fair. It's like you get like a half a thing and everybody's looking at you. Oy vey. I'm telling you, you're going to go off the derech because of that. The matzah, 82 pounds of matzah is kazayas. Is this enough? Everybody's You're not allowed to talk. And as soon as you finally catch your breath from being totally up to here with matzah, kairach, with another 8 pounds of matzahs, because the brisket Rav once by accident said it's 18 matzahs, is the shear of matzah, and he's eating and eating. But that potato, this big. And you start going around like mamash, like an Auschwitz. Too big. No, not in this house. Nobody will eat more than a kazayas this big. Okay, karpas, yachatz. How long does it take to cut a piece of matzah?
How do you deal with the kid?
I have a question soon. Karpats, yachatz. How long does it take to go? Karate chop. Practice beforehand. Practice it. You're done. It's in half.
Are you gonna do like a
Yachatz. Magid. The magid. Magid. What is magid? Magid is mitzvah l'saper sipur yitzias mitzrayim. Magid. Tell the story. By the way, we've been reading it for a long time. A lot of our kids never even heard the story. They just get lost in the words and all of that. Magid. Tell the story. You don't have to say the words. Magid, you tell the story. There was once a very evil guy. His name was Paroi, and he wanted to kill us. And Hashem saved us. Let's eat. That's it. You can embellish it. You can talk 5 minutes. You can talk 10 minutes. We've had kips that all of a sudden that were there witnessing this event. By the way, of Speed Seder. When you do it, it's a bigger miracle than Kriyas Yamsuf. They've never seen anything like Tati's what. And then all of a sudden they start adding midrashim. We've had kids or kips at the Seder, not dressed appropriately. And they're commenting and they're saying a medrash or something. Say the story for 15 minutes. Karpas, Yachat, Magid. Right, there was one kid who got really in the shchin. He was talking about the thing and he started talking about boils and he got into it. They'll get into it. Spend 20 minutes. When was the last time you told a story for 20? It's a long time. You could prepare in advance. You could add in a lot of midrashim, a lot of stories. 20 minutes is a nice story. Okay? You're up to afterwards, you're done. Do the mitzvah hayom. We want our kips, if they're going to be there, God willing.
And if they get up and leave, do your own.
No, then you shoot them. Of course, you just continue without them. But we want, what do we want? Mitzvah hayom. I would love that they should all have the what? You can't do the makas. Some people... Oh, then you can do it. But some people you have to be careful with the makas. Some people you have to be, the liberals, the makas, if they don't like that God is smiting. Smiting is not so good. Smiting is not a good word for liberals. What are you smiting? What are you smiting? What are you smiting? They don't like that God drowned people. God drowned the Egyptians. They don't like when God. They don't like the evil, the God of wrath, and he's killing his creations. They don't like that. We also have this concept that we also really can't rejoice. What? Which part? Not to say Shira, but for some of them it rubs. They don't like that the people are bad and they get drowned, because they think I am bad. So you basically would drown me, yeah?
They like when you take out the blood and you say it's because Mitzrayim had pain and
Mitzrayim had pain with the blood thing. That's very good, very good. So beware. You have to think about it in advance. I'd love for them to have matzah. Matzah kairech is not so important. Now, what I did every year when I had Home Sweet Home boys around my table, I always had my kids and then my other kids. My wife would say mine, yours, and ours. So I would say get them. Who's them? Which them? Our them. Okay. So I always told them when it came to Mara, I gave everyone else. You had enough Mara in your life. You don't need to have more Mara. They love that, and it's true. And then they say, no, I want it. And they'll take like 8 portions, and they cry, and it becomes their yaitza, the chazanish shir of Mara, usually. Okay? But you tell them, you had enough Mara in your life. You don't need that this year. Beautiful thing to say. And that's it. You have Shulchan Aruch, you have a beautiful meal. After the meal is over, and then you come to the end of the meal, usually the kips will go back to Kipville, go watch their movies or whatever it is, clean off the table, you take out all your beautiful Haggadahs, you start at the beginning, and you start saying all the words. The biggest Kiddush Hashem. I'm sure that Hashem will be at your Seder. What a Kiddush Hashem. You went ahead, you did all this to be Makarev, but you're not trying to cut corners. You go back to the beginning, and you start Vihisha Amda, and you start really going through it. By the way, in the first time also, there are key things to say. Ask your Rabbanim. You could say Vihisha Amda, the thing, Baruch HaMakom Baruch. That's good. Dayenu is okay also. You can do the playlist that they know from YouTube. That's fine. There are key things that you could say about the kaisis and stuff like that. What? Pesach Matzamar, that's it. You got to say that. Ask your Rav how to, but it's mamish not time consuming. But you can't avoid certain things, and there's also an order. You have to be careful of doing things in a certain order. So find out about that with the kaisis and all of that. The kip goes away. It was a nice experience. You makarev them to think that this Pesach is not this torture chamber. You have your meal, you sit down with the other kids, and you go ahead and you do it nicely in Erlich, all the Divrei Torah. You could do it till 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, the skips also like it. They like a non-pressured environment. Skips are siblings of kips. The siblings. A lot of the parents like it. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Okay? Be'ezus Hashem, if we do this, even if they're not at the table, they'll hear about it. The kids are talking about it. You'll get them to that Pesach Seder years before the other way. And it's all part of the same concept. We have to make Yiddishkeit enjoyable for each kid on the level that they're on. We don't have a choice. By the way, just from what I do is, the best Haggadah in the world that I ever came across is called the Little Medrash Says Haggadah. I bought maybe 20 of them, and I give everyone at the table because I like when everybody's on the same page. I can call out page 45, especially for younger kids, and especially for me and my other kids and my older boys, everybody. You see, when we turn, it keeps everyone together. If you know everything that it says and the little medrash says, you know a lot. It has gewaldige questions and midrashim, and it's delivered mamish beautiful. Not the medrash says, that's too mature for me. The little medrash says. I actually probably have one here. I gave one out always to the Home Sweet Home boys. The best Haggadah in the whole world. And everybody's on the same page. It's big. It's really nice. It's big. You turn the page, it asks great questions, tons of midrashim. It's beautiful. To me, that's enough. That's mamish very nice. Okay? Chazak v'yamatz. That's the speed Seder.